typically, during zoning cases, we will pare this down to a certain number of minutes, and allow representatives from the group.
I understand that.
All right.
But here's what you and the rest of the council needs to understand. Chairman Larry, you were at the committee meeting where the plan was presented to the community back in January.
Right.
You yourself mentioned that this would be brought before the council the last meeting in February. As a result, the presentation of this and the opportunity that these people have to speak on this issue has been delayed over 7 times. How many times do we have to come back and forth down here to speak? These people, every last one of them, some of them endured great hardship to be here today, missing out on getting into the shelter to be here to speak to this council. If you're only going to throw $250,000 towards a homeless plan, towards a campaign pledge that this mayor and members of this council sign in good faith, the least we can all do is hear them for 2 minutes.
Mr. Watkins?
I will not help you cut down your time.
Mr. Watkins, I understand what you're saying completely, sir. And those are our rules. Allow it. We'll do it. Let's go.
Fortunately, this transition home from tree, the United States Marine Corps from Beirut and Cold War. My wife and I became homeless recently. I used my 401k. These are better to stop being homeless. I used now I have no insurance because I have a job because of this. Without training and the help of Memphis City Council, I would probably still leaving my car with my wife for 30 years. I'm blessed enough. My son just had graduated from Memphis High School. You know, and I'm proud of him. Because even though he was living in the car, he was proud to graduate from Memphis. Which is also my mom and his grandmothers and his great-grandmothers. And I feel that this city, this city is my city. I love this city. I used to be talked about the Marine Corps. Because I was from Memphis, I was a country bumpkin. But I know my city can do better than $250,000 for homeless. I'm not asking you for a handout. Believe me, that's not what I want. I ask you no, I'm always working. But I will see you through. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your service, sir.
My name is Erica Turner, and I do not have a parent address. Me and my 5-month-old daughter was put out of our home for no reason due to a fire that's caused by the apartments. They did not have any fire hazards. They watched our home burn for 2 hours. There was nothing they could do because they didn't have fire hazards in the apartment. No people was out. And when the people came, they said my apartment didn't have no apartment. You don't have apartments. So when a man came and seen my apartment, it was a problem. That's when they decided to help me. They did not want to help me. They put me and my 5-month-old child out with nowhere to go, no explanation of anything. And when I called the hotline, no one answered the phone. They constantly was telling me don't leave a message, but all the time, reason why they were saying don't leave a message because they did not supposed to have that on them. They were very unorganized and unprofessional.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Angela Hodges. Angela Hodges.
My name is Mary Bacon, 23 South Pauline. I am an advocate for the homeless. I have been homeless twice. One time I was homeless for 5 years. But I was attending college full time at Southwest Tennessee Community College because I wanted to better myself because nobody in this supposed to be great city of Memphis would assist me. I was homeless 9 months ago because of identity theft, and nobody would help me because I had a job. I had a job, but because of the identity theft, my credit was screwed. And everybody said, you can help yourself. If it wasn't for my pastor at my church who fought for me when I went and applied for my apartment, one I'm living at now, I would be homeless still. But I don't think $250,000 for infrastructure, computer software upgrades, and other stuff like staff just adequate. I think that $250,000 needs to be used for the individuals who are homeless. You say you don't want to have our jails populated by homeless people. Put your words where your mouth is.
Thank you.
Scott Bambury, 1051 Stonewall Street. I'm one of Joe's neighbors. I live a couple blocks from him, and I know of 3 women in my neighborhood who have lost their homes since the financial collapse. They are surfing around the neighborhood with their children so that those children can stay enrolled at Valentine and at Cypress, where they go to school. One of the biggest problems that we have is when children's educations are disrupted because families are having to move around from school to school, and they have to catch up each time they go to a new place. We need to have programs in place that catch these people. They give them a place to live and stability in their lives so that they don't fall in love with that. And I gotta tell you, one of my mothers is what you would think was a typical middle-class person. One of my Cub Scouts mothers. She is homeless now, and we're all giving her their Cub Scout dues for free and whatnot. But she is struggling every day to keep stability in that boy's lives. And I hope that we can make a bare minimum investment here of $250,000. I wish that we were asking you for more right now. Thank you for supporting us, man. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marquita Bradshaw, and I'm part of the Neighborhood Alliance that includes many issues, mainly to talk about some of the things that we need in the city. And I'm a Christian, and I have a responsibility that if I want to go to heaven, when it comes to that day, when the Lord asks me that I provide him shelter, water, I want to be able to say, get that well done. And $250,000 on the front end is not enough. And one day you want to hear that well done also. So I'm asking you to adequately fund the homeless plan, to set aside jobs for light demolition and cleanup for people to get them back on their feet. They don't want a handout, they want a hand up. So as we move forward, yes, there is a budget problem, but there also is a problem on how you collect revenue in the city. And no, you cannot do it on the backs of property tax owners that pay their taxes. You need to look at these tax credits that you've given wealthy corporations.
Squat in houses in our Roselle, Easdale neighborhood. Women who have to live in vacant houses. And they are attacked and vulnerable, but they're homeless with nowhere to go. One particular was impregnated. She has a mental condition and substance abuse problems. She had no place to go. And she squatted in a vacant house, and she was impregnated. She was arrested for stealing, put in jail, and that child is now in custody of the state. The cost of homelessness is great. It's greater than $250,000. And that's just one person. Think about all the people who are in cars, children. How can they do the homework living in a car? They're homeless. They can't go to the library. It is a huge problem. As a former educator, I am serious about ending this problem. I am doing everything I can to support you and our wonderful mayor in ending homelessness. We have to be the voice of my sisters who are thrown in jail for prostitution because they don't have a home. They're on the streets. And it is not fair for them and their children to suffer. While we have so many vacant homes that can be refitted and used for adequate dwelling for these people. We have volunteers who will train them. We have retired teachers who will train them.
Thank you so much. Mary Kane.
Thank you. Brad Watkins, 210 Summit. Okay, let's talk about money. Because there's been a lot of talk today about we don't have money for this and we don't have money for that. So let me say this right now publicly, what I've said to many of you privately. To say that funding homeless services is a choice between spending money and not spending money is a lie. It is a bald-faced lie. You are spending 5 times that much on the back end of homelessness. The city of Memphis and Shelby County spend 0 on homeless prevention and homeless services. 0. There is nothing that the city of Memphis gets to pat its back on in homeless services. Our funding comes from federal sources that our city works very hard to get, and from the private sector and the faith community. If we are going to say that we are a city of choice, then we have to get behind and progressive reforms to homelessness. This plan to end homelessness is that. It's the innovation that Mr. Boyd asked for a couple months ago. It's the straight talk that Mr. Conrad asked for moments ago. And it lowers the cost of your expenditures. You spend it with your police manpower hours that you're trying to cut their pensions. You spend it on the firefighters putting out fires and vacants. Vacant fires cost you $16.3 million in the past 5 years. You spend it on EMS trips to the emergency room because people live out there on hot days like today and cold days in the winter. And sometimes human beings try to survive by setting fires to keep themselves warm and get out of control. 2 months ago, a man set a fire in a vacant in Frazier, and he's right now at the Met. And you know who's paying for those medical expenditures? The EMS call, the fire call, the call of tearing down the vacant, the cost of mowing the grass on that vacant. That's all your operating costs. So if we want to talk about spending money, we can do the right thing and do that at the same time. We need set-aside jobs and blight demolition for the homeless. That's in your power. You can make that happen. We're asking you to do that. Jobs, not jails. Thank you.
1051 Philadelphia Street, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm the Executive Director of the Mid-South Peace and Justice Center here on behalf of the hundreds, if not thousands, of our members that we have here. Scott pointed to what we need is services to keep people off the street. And under our mayor's leadership, we now have what amounts to a very good plan to get us there. What y'all are talking about today is the budget. And the budget of the city of Memphis points to the priorities of this city. And for us as an organization, and I can guarantee you for the vast majority of the communities in Memphis, the priorities of the poorest people in this city should be put first. Now, $250,000 is something that, on one hand, we want to congratulate you for, because it is a lot better than the $0 that the city of Memphis has contributed to end homelessness in the history of this city. That is $0, ladies and gentlemen. So $250,000 is a start. But I'll point back to priorities again. $250,000 to end homelessness amongst the poorest people in this city. $3 million for cost overruns at a boat dock down Beale Street. Is that the priority that we want to $250,000 to end homelessness in this city? $3 million in the mayor's economic development slush fund. Is that the priority that we have in this city? So while we urge you to pass this resolution today, what we're saying is that this is only a start, ladies and gentlemen. This plan is a $7 million annual plan with $13 million in capital improvements. Even if we get the full $13 million from federal and state grant sources, this city is going to have to start ponying up to meet the gap between the $4.5 million in federal funding that we get a year from HUD and the $7 million that we need annually to end homelessness in the city. And if the mayor's serious about it, he'll come back to you next year.
Boyd, yes. Brown, yes. Collins, yes. Conrad, yes. Flynn, yes. Ford, yes. Fully Love, yes. Halbert, yes. Petchbeck, yes. Lowry, yes. Morrison, yes. And Strickland, yes.
Unanimous.